bit of belt noise, rough running, misfiring while driving. You can hear it backfiring. So first thing I did was scope the ignition, and the ignition looked okay except for number 2. It showed signs of lean burning. So smoke tested it, no smoke leaks around the number 2. And then what I did was I swapped number 1 and 2 injectors just to see if it would follow. Actually, I did a compression test first. Compression test was okay, it was 140 psi. So then I swapped number 1 and 2 injector, and the lean burning was still on number 2. Then what I did was a leak down test. Thinking more about it, lean misfire is usually in the intake, so since it was popping out the exhaust, I had a feeling that there might be a burnt exhaust valve. And then sure enough, when I did the leak down test, I put in 80 psi and was only holding 55. And then I checked the valve adjustment. The valve adjustment actually was on the tight side. It was 2.5 turns. Maximum turns is supposed to be 2 turns for the hydraulic adjusters. I usually always set them to 1.5 turns. But anyways, I backed the adjusters right off, took the rockers off, and I still had leak on the exhaust valve. So we're gonna have to pull the head here and then get some valve grind. And he's actually doing both heads, because the other side I checked, the valves were just as tight, and it's just a matter of time before they probably start leaking. So yeah, I'm gonna pull the heads and we can have a look at what the valve looks like. Nice and even running again with the heads replaced. This is the one that had the number 2 exhaust valve not sealing correctly. I'm going to add the video of the valve. I'm going to take the head apart and you can see where it was burnt. Fresh coolant. Okay, these are the 2 heads. This is the one that had number 2 exhaust valve leaking when I did the leak down test. You can see here's the coolant flange that was mounted. This side doesn't, it's a thermostat housing. It sits like this. So out of all of these, I'm expecting this one to leak, none of the other ones. Might as well start with that guy first. And you can sort of see there's a little bit of black tint here. Black as in carbon black. Here there is nothing. So we'll see. Yeah. Leaking. I was expecting a faster leak, but it's definitely running down here. Yeah, you can see it pooling there. So this guy's leaking. I'll flip it. Don't want to run into this cylinder. So this is number 1. Number 1 is also starting. Not as quickly though. That's number 3. It's also starting very slowly though, similar to number 1. Number 4 is a gusher. Never had a misfire number 4. That's really leaking. And we'll check the intakes. It's all the old stuff from the exhaust valve. Intakes are good. Oh no, for sure. It was actually number 2 and number 4 exhaust valves were leaking the most. The intakes aren't leaking.